This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Break the penalty box glass in case of emergency. Tension's thick, you can cut it with a knife. It's best of 3 now. 8:30 early enough for you, Tennessee? Should I call the NHL office, see if they can get a 6?
Better than 10.
See if they can get a 6. I like that 10 o'clock start, quite frankly. I didn't make it through it. I sent out a couple of video tweets that night. Had on my Wild gear, that big chain with the board that said hard, because we play hard. And had that fish, my Filet-O-Fish. Had my wild hoodie on with the green and the what's that color we call it, wheat color kind of thing, and I was ready for war. Oh, I had the towel too. The what do we call that? The howl towel,
rally towel, or yeah, I don't know what you call that.
The Wolves call it, I think, a howl towel, and we called it the Homer hanky with the Twins. And then, lo and behold, I think opening face. As soon as they dropped the opening face-off, I dropped like a light. I just was like a turning off a light. I was done. So, I've never met a place, never worked for a place, certainly never worked for a place, never even have come across a place that has more of a pecking order and a double standard. I mean, on the very top, it's the Power Trip Morning Show. I would imagine even Barrero's a little annoyed because he used to be the king of the fan. It's the Power Trip now, without question.
Yeah.
Then it's probably Barrero and PA tied. I don't know. And then, if put it this way, if the fan personalities were a totem pole, I'm the part that's in the ground. And I caught so much heat from the coroner's office for it. It wasn't a day off last Friday. It was client related. I'm hosting the golf opener for like the 21st straight year. I got to verbally slap people on the back. I have to meet with the clients that have been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with us for all these years. I'm the host. It's called the Grandview KFAN Common Man Golf Opener. I go up there. I've been doing this for years. Go up there on a Friday. I go to work day. I finally figured this is like the second or third time since we've had work day, which has been how many years now? 15, 20? That I've been able to go to work day and actually put in for my own time off. And I'm kind of proud of that, the boys are proud of me for being a bit more tech savvy. My wife was in tears. She had to cancel my ENT appointment for tomorrow because I didn't know how to. Also, I didn't know how to log into the Health Partners app for my appointment today for the shingles vaccine. She did all that for me. I didn't get approved for vacation. I had to feign an illness. I had to lie to the company and say I was sick and couldn't make it in Friday. Because of the NFL draft, which we took a dopey lineman with the 24th pick overall. And so, no drama, God, we got when we had the 11th pick all those years ago, we wasted it on Ponder. I get that, but we had high picks. We're going, everybody knew this was not that big of a deal. Now on the biggest sports week of 2025 to this point, until the parade route, for the big game next year. But it's wild. Best of 3. Wolves, tomorrow? Try to clinch a spot in the semifinals. And you were approved for a golf vacation.
I always love
leaving tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Thursday?
I'm leaving tomorrow night.
You're leaving tomorrow night. Gone
I'll be on the program tomorrow.
Thursday, Friday, Monday, you're out. And me, I get heat for it. It's astonishing how it works around here.
Maybe you should feel good about that. That means you're more needed here than I am.
I don't think
they don't care. Like, yeah, you can go. No big deal.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's because they're trying to force me out.
They're writing up a list of all the discretions.
That is absolutely correct. And so, it is what it is, and we'll just have to deal with it. So then, we have so many people that are going to be out, and we're a little short-staffed. And so I thought Abbott was going to run the board. Nope, not a chance, because I said, look, if you're running the board on Friday, I got to have, there's no Lil B, so you're going to have to come up with 5 questions. You're going to have to find 3 people for program password and come up with the words. He goes, I ain't working that. New guy's working. We have a new guy, and who I met, and I'm bad with names. Do you remember a new guy's name?
That's Sam?
Sam
I Am?
Sam I Am is going to be in that chair. Now, what if we don't have a good vibe? How's that going to go? No Lil B, no program password, no Rosen. It could be a real awkward 3 hours. And I'm going to come in totally unprepared. I actually thought the Wolves play tonight and the Wild play tomorrow. That's how unprepared I am. Did the Twins win yesterday?
They did. All they do is win.
Bailey Ober was brilliant. He pitched 8 innings. What did they think? It's 1968 again? Guy's going 8 innings. But apparently, he says he's in one of those zones where I could read the exact quote, but something to the effect of, one thing is he doesn't have to nibble because we're scoring. So we're a run scoring machine now. He can just go right after these guys.
A little more confidence.
Yeah. He doesn't strike out a lot of people. They act like 2 strikeouts is bad. I guess in this day and age when all you're trying to do is throw as hard as you can and strike people out, it probably is. But he only struck out 2, but he scattered 3 hits, I think, because they can't hit his stuff. He knows where to put the ball, and the other teams aren't able to hit it. So the Twins now, you asked me the question yesterday during 5-3-4. You said, Twins, when I thought it, again, because I'm unprepared, I thought they'd won 6 of 6. It was 5 of 6. They lost that rain-shortened 7-inning, 3-0 game to the Chi Sox. I just assumed they restarted that game and we came back and won because it's the White Sox, but we didn't. But then you asked me, is this the start of something new for the Twins? And I said, well, I'm not so sure, because the exact same thing happened last year. I think it was the exact same record at the exact same stage of the season, and the exact same 2 teams we had to play was Chi Sox and Angels. And I know last year we did sweep them both. We won 6 in a row, and then we were off and running. We were loose. And, of course, we collapsed in September, but we were. And so you asked me, what are we going to see now? Is this the start of something big? And I said, I'm not so sure yet. But after yesterday, and we've got guys in the team I've never heard of before. Who are all these people? Now, that isn't just being unprepared. Who's Gaspar?
Who's the bride?
Who are these people?
Get to know them.
This is a get to know them campaign. So, and now I can't do the joke about, my favorite joke is to do the old, if you remember a few years ago, the Minneapolis City Council passed an ordinance requiring nightclubs that feature live music to provide earplugs for the clientele in case they wanted to protect their hearing, because it gets really loud in those. When they got the Marshall amps stacked to the ceiling, it gets real loud and can create hearing damage, right? In a related move, the Minneapolis City Council passed an ordinance requiring the Twins to pass out blindfolds. I say to pass out blindfolds to clientele, to fans that requested it. Always gets a big laugh at Flop Swingers. I can't say that now. I can't say it about the Wolves. I can't say it about the Wild or the Vikings. What team do I pick on? Can't pick on the Lynx. Maybe the Frost.
Yeah, they're going to miss playoffs.
Looks like they're going to miss, but
I would just say be patient.
Maybe
something will come around for you.
Wait, hold on. Let me do this. 2 things with that one. The first one would be that, and then this is coming.
We're we're going to be good with all of our teams. Do you like parades? Because we're going to win multiple championships. We're the new Boston.
Not only do I like parades, but I also like bonus bucks.
Yeah, I'd like some bonus bucks. The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword green at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is green. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Get ready, Minnesota. The legendary Bryan Adams. Bryan Adams,
summer of 69.
is bringing his Roll with the Punches tour to Target Center November 26th. Don't miss this epic night of rock anthems and unforgettable hits. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Get all the details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Rolling with the punches is what we do. Couple 13-14 past here on the Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. Time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to us by our friends at Affordable Electric. You know, we had that big storm in the forecast. I think it missed most of the Twin Cities, but next time they have that storm forecast and it hits, stay safe. And remember, Affordable Electric is here if you need us. Family-owned and operated business. They care about their community. If you experience any electrical damage, outages, or safety concerns after the storm, call them right away. Fast, friendly, and trusted. Your local electricians are ready to help. 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT or online at affordable-electric.com. Remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable.
You sounded like Bill Raftery getting shocked by it.
Bill Raftery. The Minnesota Vikings are going to Super Bowl. Look at he went to the rock and hit it back. Do you ever understand a word he says either?
No.
You never know what he's saying.
I still love it, though.
Oh, I just love it. It's my favorite, but I can't wait till they go to break. I don't think there's much with the Purple other than I wouldn't even call it a quiet confidence. I think they're pretty cocky over there right now. And you know what? I don't mind that as long as you can back it up, and we'll find out once we get to Oda's mini camps, preseason, training camp, and the season. I think they feel really good about where they've been, where they're going, where they're at.
We could listen to Brian O'Neill right now.
Oh, is Brian O'Neill?
He's talking right now.
Well, let's make this part of the Peek at the Purple.
Your teammates you knew so well go, and then having new guys come in.
Yeah, that's part of the business, right? It's happened basically every year since I've been here. There's guys that I've been close to, that built really good relationships with, that moved on and found great spots and found great homes. And, that's the name of the game, right? The team's always trying to get better. That's the environment you want to play in. That's the kind of team you want to play for. That's always striving to get better and improve and make the roster better. And, they're not doing their job if they're not looking for my replacement at some point, for CJ's replacement at some point, for everybody's replacement, right? Like, the job is for them to continually push the needle to make this place as best as it possibly can be. And so, that's the environment you want. That's the competitive nature you want of, we want the best and we're going to try to get the best. And, you want to be held to a high expectation. And I think you feel that a little bit more this spring so far.
What do we know so far about the new guys like Ryan and Will? You spent much time with them so far?
Yeah, for sure. We got out and played some golf last week. Obviously, we're in the O-line meetings every day. Have had a lot of respect for Ryan, just kind of following his career. Got to meet him a couple times over the years, whether we played him or at different NFL events. So a ton of respect for him. And then obviously getting into Will, we've kind of started to watch film together, kind of understand how each other plays. It's going to take some time and some reps for all three of us, and all five of us really, to get, to be one cohesive unit. And one of the things our line coach said is, hey, you might have to say things more plainly at the beginning, but, hopefully we can play together for a long time. And there's kind of like, you just kind of give them a look and you're ready to go. And so it's on us to, kind of start at the baseline and build it up the right way so that maybe we can just give each other a look and we know what each other's thinking and how we're going to go about trying to do something. But yeah, I'm really excited for those two guys. Will's a big dude. The first thing I shook his hand, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm really excited about them.
How's your golf game?
Work in progress.
I know you mentioned that you guys all have to continue to work to be cohesive as a unit. Does it help at all though that Ryan and Will played together before coming here?
Yeah, for sure. And they can. One of the things I've tried to be cognizant of is not just telling them how we've done it here in this offense, right? Allow them to bring their ideas to the table, or those two can talk about, hey, this is how we see this, because there is going to be a new quarterback, and there is going to be a new center, and there is going to be a new guard, and there is going to be new pieces out there. So kind of building this version of this year's team is going to be really important. And, obviously those two new guys and JJ are going to be a really big part of building something new. So we can't get caught in this mindset of this is how we've done it in the past, because the past wasn't good enough. So we got to build it now and build it the right way.
What's your contact been like with Donovan Jackson so far?
I was actually fortunate enough. Me and my wife went to dinner with him, his girlfriend, his parents, and two staffers here on Friday after he was in the building. Had a good time and got to know his family. So yeah.
Ryan, Jonathan was saying one of his terms is more is required, and you just even mentioned last year wasn't good enough. Do you have a terminology you either use personally or the O-line does, something like that?
That's the terminology that's hanging up on the T-shirt as soon as we all got into our locker. But it makes sense, right? If we want a better result, we have to do more. Josh McCown in the offensive meeting today kind of gave the analogy of a scale, the balancing scales that they used to use. And it was if whatever you want is out there, a division title, Super Bowl, NFC title, whatever it is, right? And that's there. You got to put a whole lot of stuff in this other side to even it out and make those scales even to be able to make that valuable, worth it. And so, yeah, more is required because clearly that scale hasn't been tipped for us yet, and we need to find a way to make that happen.
Obviously, the other side of the ball, but what does it mean to have Harry coming back for a 14th season? Not only to come back, but the fact that he sees, what he wants to see here that wants him to.
Yeah. I think that's a great point, right? He wouldn't come back if he didn't think there was a chance. And so, clearly he sees a chance, and clearly, I believe there's a chance. You go in every year thinking you can win the whole thing, and I certainly do. But love playing with that guy. I was sitting next to him on the plane ride home from Arizona, whatever, and the Rams, Arizona. And it felt like he was done to me. And then I kind of saw him the next day, and he kind of had a little look in his eye that, maybe there was something unfinished. So I'm really happy to be playing with him again, and was really excited to see him the other day.
Along those lines, what challenges, if any, are there to trying to make that run with a first-year starting quarterback?
Haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So that's a hard one to answer. I think, it was Sam's first year starting for us last year, and we got a look at it and didn't really capitalize, but we kind of saw going into the last few weeks what was out there. Clearly didn't capitalize on it, but hopefully I'll be able to answer that question in a few months after we've been on the field for a while, but. I think you got to take the mindset of try to take as much of the things off any new quarterback's plate, right? How do we, as an O-line, play as cohesively as possible? How do, I can't be worried about his fires if I'm not putting out my own fires, right? The best thing I can do for him is give a clean pocket every single time. So that's kind of one of the, messages is, how do we all individually raise our level of play on the field, not necessarily throughout the building, but how do we make the football part of actually playing football become better and greater?
Donovan Jackson, him going in the middle of the season from guard and having to play left tackle, from an offensive lineman's perspective, how hard would that be, or what does that mean when a guy can do that?
It's really hard. I have a lot of respect for guys who can do that or play either side. I remember my third year, about a week before the first game, we weren't sure if Riley Reef was still going to be here, and they said, "Hey, if he's not here, you're playing left tackle." And I was freaking out. And I played it in college, and I was like, "That's not going to go well for anybody involved here." So I have a ton of respect for somebody to be able to do that. And talking to him, it was the starting left tackle got hurt, and then the backup left tackle got hurt, and then his first game at left tackle's at Penn State on a whiteout against the number 3 overall draft pick or whatever. And so he was like, that was kind of an experience. But, for anybody to be able to do that, switching sides, kicking from inside to outside, outside to inside, it's really hard. I haven't been asked to do it. And so, better him than me, I guess.
What's it like to, be with Chris Cooper as long as you have? Like, what is the benefit of that, and just how has your relationship with him grown over the years?
I love having him as my O-line coach. The rest of the coaching staff, like the front office, they know how I feel about Coop, and I make sure to point to, end of the year meetings, whatever. That's my guy. I love playing for him, and our relationship's evolved a little bit. He can, now that he's known me for a couple of years, he can, get after me a little bit more than maybe he thought he could at the beginning or whatever. And we kind of see things the same way. He can shoot me straight and tell me that wasn't good enough, and I just, take it on the chin and keep it moving. And he's kind of continually found ways to push me to get better in different areas of my game. So I'll be, as we get on the grass next week, I'll be, I'm sure he'll have a few things for me that, that wasn't good enough last year, and here's how we need to take your game from here to here. I really respect his way of coaching and how he handles the guys.
That's Brian O'Neill, media time at TCO Performance Center, the new Winter Park. He's the right tackle for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Good friend of the program. He's been on the air with us on a number of occasions. From Shields over in Eden Prairie for our Toys for Tots broadcast. We'll break. We'll come back with a little this, that, lot right here on the man.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Join the Power Trip Morning Show up at Grandview Lodge, May 1st and 2nd. Don't miss out on your chances to win great prizes, including a custom KFAN and Grandview co-branded golf bag, a tailor-made driver, and rounds of golf. Oh, and did we mention a trip to Tanca Verde Ranch in Arizona? Get all the details now at KFAN.com/Grandview.
That resort in Arizona is part of the Colt Family Enterprises. It's the Power Trip Morning Show is side-splitting, knee-slapping humor. Well, I did get this text message a little earlier that said, I don't like that Power Trip show at all. I completely agree. He goes, if I listen to it for a few minutes, I flip it off. Like, does he hold his finger up to it, or what does he do when he says he flips it off? I mean, don't get that carried away. Just turn it off. As you said one time, Common, your show's an acquired taste. You're number one with me and have been for several years. God bless you. Keep up the good work. And I need a blessing. Every day we face questions that we'd like to have answers to. For me, it's, are the Twins truly on a roll now? Can the Wild, like a phoenix rise from the ashes, overcome a very bitter defeat in overtime to the Golden Knights? Can the Minnesota Wild tomorrow night finish off the LA Lakers? What's Brian O'Neill's golf game like? And will Tennessee hit 3 off the tee, off the first tee at Brandon Dunes on Friday morning? These are questions, but the most important question for me was, And I asked AI Grok this morning, if you are a right-handed golfer, which arm should you receive a vaccination shot? And AI Grok says, as a right-handed golfer, you should receive a vaccination shot in your left arm. This minimizes discomfort and potential impact on your dominant arm, which is critical for your golf swing. That the left arm, non-dominant, is less involved in generating power and control, so any temporary soreness or stiffness is less likely to affect your game. So it was shortly thereafter that the nurse walked in to give me my shingles vaccine, and she said, which arm? And I said the left. And I didn't explain why. I just told her it's because I plan to continue to play golf because I'm a tough guy. Then I asked AI Grok, I said, can I die from the shingles vaccine? Question mark. Death from the shingles vaccine is extremely rare. CDC and FDA monitor vaccine safety closely, and data from millions of doses show no direct link between the shingles vaccine and death. Serious side effects like severe allergic reactions occur in roughly 1 to 2 per million doses and are treatable if caught early. Most adverse events are mild, like soreness or fever. So they say I could get flu-like symptoms. I'm just preparing you now, Tenneby, that instead of, just kind of mailing it in and milk, your last day before going on vacation, what little effort you put in generally, I suppose, will be non-existent.
Yes, tomorrow.
And I don't blame you. But you might be hosting the show if I get those flu-like symptoms. But I certainly hope I don't, because I want to play golf tomorrow.
I was going to say, let me get this straight. It's 67 and mostly sunny tomorrow, and all of a sudden you're not feeling so well, huh? Isn't that funny?
Here's what I'll tell you. Where was I born?
Tough Guy Town, Detroit.
Correct. I'm built what?
Different.
That's correct. So I think I'll be fine. But I'm just warning you just in case, just so you know. Yeah, you get to be my age, and I've heard the shingles is just awful if you get it. I mean, not every case of shingles is treacherous. But I hear if you get it bad, it's like for 2 weeks, you're in the most pain you're ever going to be in. So I'm not interested in that. So I got in, I got out, and we took care of that, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll keep you posted, Tenneby. You'll be the first to know. Wild tonight on this radio station, puck drop at 8:30. Fallness at 7. Is that what Abbott said? A special
Is
Kevin
it at
Fallness?
7?
I thought he said it was a special Kevin Fallness programming thing. I could have swore he said 7, but again, I'm not prepared. I should have asked ahead of time.
Yeah, that looks right.
Okay.
It's a long pregame.
It is a very long pregame.
It's a lot of Kevin Fallness.
You almost...
I just don't know about that programming decision.
You say that in a way where you're... I'm going to stick up for Kevin unless you really start having a lot of fun ripping him, then I'll pile on too, because I just like having fun as well. But I did see Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Story from Sarah McClellan, Fish Wrap Factory West. Wild Golden Knights show similarities with playoff series tied at 2 apiece. Justin Brazeau.
Yep.
I say it. Hey, I got it right. Brazeau. I did a little research. He says, quote, a lot of the things that are strengths for them are strengths for us as well. So it's kind of been one of those battles where you're not getting a whole lot, and whoever gets that one extra opportunity might win the game. Do you believe that, Tenneby? Do you think that the strengths are kind of similar here? I know going into the series, we thought we got one line, and we're not even sure. I mean, one really good line. And we're not sure if that really good line is going to be really good because 2 of the guys have just been coming off long extended injury rehabilitation. They were great in that first game back. After that, maybe not so good. But do you think these 2 teams' strengths and weaknesses are fairly similar? Would you agree with that?
I didn't going into the series, but that's changed a little bit. I would say in terms of both teams are, defensively responsible. Both teams, even though Adin Hill hasn't been the greatest in the series, but typically get quality goaltending. Mm-hmm. I guess what surprised me is the Wild has gotten a little bit more depth scoring than I expected. I expected Vegas to have the depth advantage, and early on in the series they did. But the Wild, 2 games in a row, they've gotten a goal from Marco Rossi on the fourth line. Foligno scored a goal in Game 4. Hartman's had a good series. So they are getting more contributions, and the Wild's top guys have been better than Vegas' top guys.
Yes.
So
Jack Eichel.
It's not Jake?
No, it's Jack Eichel.
You're right, yes.
Thanks. I'm prepared today.
So I wasn't expecting the Wild to be able to match up from a depth standpoint, and so far they've come to play. They've been, Game 4 could have gone either way. It was basically a pretty even game, and I would expect what you saw in Game 4 to be that type of game moving forward here through the last 3.
You brought up the Middleton pass, which in overtime was that was not good. My guess is all these players have short memories, though, and I don't think anybody pointed any fingers. As a matter of fact, the head coach quoted in this story said, John Hines, "It's a tough play. Nothing you can do about it. It's not like he meant to do it or anything like that. It's not something that I think you dwell on." And I would hope Middleton does it. My guess is he's probably had that happen. He's probably been playing since mites, Bantam, squirts. It's happened to him before. And it will. I mean, it's going to happen in most hockey games. Just like in basketball, you're going to have a bad turnover, right? You're going to throw up a brick at the most inopportune time. And it was unfortunate, but that's just the way the puck bounces, right? There was also another statistic that I had heard, I think maybe during the game or earlier in the series, whenever it was, and it was reemphasized in this story. After a league-best 31-0 run, 31-0, the Wild finally lost when leading through 2 periods. They also dropped to 0-5 all-time with a chance to go up 3-1 when the Golden Knights scored that overtime goal. So 5 times they've had an opportunity to go up 3-1, and this is I don't know how the other 4 went, but this had to have been one of the most devastating ones and the closest they had to going to going up 3-1, which is so. I mean, that's what the Wolves did that the other night. How nice is it to be up 3-1? Even though you're going to L.A., still you're up 3-1. It's I mean, you don't want it to go to a Game 7 or even a Game 6, but you have
you're in the driver's seat.
You're in driver's seat. You have some margin for error. That 31-0 is quite the streak. Is that league best, or do you think there's other teams in the league? Because it didn't say anything in the story whether it was league best.
I know they're one of the best teams in the league this year.
That's just
the lead going into the third.
And then, of course, wouldn't you know it? And if you're a Minnesota sports fan, you think that's just us. We're cursed. Of course, the only time it happens, it has to happen in a critical Game 4 of the playoffs. What do you expect the game? I don't foresee a blowout. I mean, they can happen, but I don't foresee it. Right? Probably a closely contested game that will probably go down to late in the. We don't know, but I'm guessing it's going to go late in the third period again with the game up for grabs.
I think the one thing with hockey is it's unpredictable. You can think something's going to happen in a game and it's going to go completely different, or even within the game, momentum changes so quickly. I think it's a pretty impossible sport to predict. I will say a couple notes for the lineup tonight for the Wild. Joel Eriksson-Ek is good to go. Okay. So he didn't practice yesterday, but John Hines said it was a maintenance day. So he's good to go tonight. That's very big.
Is Bouillon being swapped out?
Bouillon is out. John Merrill is entering back in, and then Marcus Johansson, who missed Game 4 with a lower body injury, he's back in. So Vinny Hinostroza out, Bouillon out, Merrill Johansson in.
With Merrill, was he just odd man out because they wanted to see what Bouillon could bring? Is Merrill not played very well?
No, he's been fine for a sixth defenseman. But I mean, he's limited. I mean, he's not going to do anything offensively for you.
Right.
You're just hoping, he's got more size, obviously, than Bouillon. He can handle the physical game a little bit better, but not as good of a skater. Not going to add offense. Give you a little bit more options on a penalty kill if you get in, then Bouillon wouldn't be able to contribute in that regard. But he's just a defensive defenseman. You're hoping he doesn't make mistakes.
Sounds like you're describing your
very similar,
career,
yeah,
your hockey career.
Merrill and I are very, very parallel paths to how we play the game.
Very good.
You're not expecting him to make some great play. He's going to be more of a get the puck off the glass and get out of the zone type of player.
Nothing wrong with that. Just don't make any mistakes.
But they clearly lost confidence in Bouillon. He had the 4-minute high sticking in the third period of Game 4. He didn't play in overtime.
Yeah.
And they were rotating 5 defensemen. I know some are crediting to maybe that's why Middleton had the bad shift, because maybe he'd been a little tuckered from playing a little bit more.
Right.
But I think it's just Booyam clearly is going to be a better defenseman someday. He has immensely more skill than John Merrill, but he's still a 19-year-old kid seeing NHL hockey for the first time. It's a different speed, and right into the playoffs, too, which is even a whole nother level of speed, whole nother level of physicality. And there's probably just still some trust issues with him in your own zone at this stage of his career.
And I'm sure there's some nervousness. He's got to probably be more nervous than the veteran players, because it's like, whoa, here I was just skating in college. Now I'm in the playoffs playing in the NHL. So that might have something to do with it as well. It wouldn't be a wet blanket Wednesday on a Tuesday if I didn't rip the NBA. Did you see any of Game 4 of the Pacers against the Miami Heat? Literally...
The Cavaliers against the Heat?
It was Cavaliers against the Heat. It was literally a advertisement for the abolishment of the Miami Heat basketball team. And the laziness, the mail it in, we don't care anymore, disrespect for the fans in the game of basketball by the way the Miami Heat played last night. They were down by 60 points at one point in a game, elimination game, Game 4. I'm glad. That's the reason I like my favorite sports panel of all time, Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny the Jet, along with Ernie. I'm glad they pulled no punches. I mean, they mocked the whole effort by the Miami Heat. It's over. We know we can't win, and we're not even going to pretend. It was an embarrassment. And so for those that come after me for always picking on the NBA, yeah, you say they don't try and they're lazy. You know, what about hockey? What about football? What about baseball? What about golf? What about this or that? I give you
Miami Heat.
Exhibit A, Miami Heat in Game 4.
I bet they would have liked to have Jimmy Butler in that game last night, huh?
Well, that's for sure. Of course, he didn't really want to be there either. But
wow.
Exhibit A. I rest my case. Your witness. It was so bad. That's just, how do you, and there's nothing the league can do, and I don't expect them to all be, banned from the National Basketball Association for life. Even telling them you don't get a paycheck for that last game. You didn't play. You didn't work at all. They're not going to do that either, and it would just be a drop in the bucket. But what an embarrassment.
Have a little pride.
I mean, you think I mail it in on any day, but particularly on a Fed Up Friday during the victory formation segment? Come on, man. Yeah, they didn't even, extend it another game. At least give it an opportunity to. They didn't even fake it well. Don't you at least sit in the locker room and go, I know we all want to leave. We're all going to, they were joking about they all want to go to Cancun. I think Charles said they shouldn't be even allowed to go to Cancun or something.
Yeah. The owner should say no vacations.
Yeah. But at least if you're in the locker room and say, let's at least let's fake it really well. Let's pretend like we're really going all out. Let's give it everything we've got for the first quarter and then let them pull away in the second, and then we'll just kind of mail it in the last. But it was just so sad, which takes us to a game that was Jimmy Buckets was, again, I think he milked it a little late when he was grabbing the back where he got the injury, and then he calmly knocked down 3 free throws in a row. But, if 2 games ago, Game 3, it was Steph rising to the occasion with Jimmy Butler out and just dominating the game, in which he was just brilliant. He did basically, didn't score as many points, but he did basically what Anthony Edwards did in Game 4 of the Lakers-Wolves game. He did in Game 3. And then last night, a very quiet night for Steph, 17 points, but Jimmy was really big. Jimmy had, I think, something like 27, 26.
27-14 in the fourth?
Yeah, just so good. And the foul, I agree. I didn't like the foul they called on him. Was one of those where it's, players get calls, I guess. That was proof of it. Was it Van Fleet, whoever it was, somebody, put a hand on his body as he was shooting a three-pointer, and it didn't go in, and they called the foul, and he made all three free throws. That's what won the game for him. And I don't like that call either. I mean, if you're going to let it go which they do now in the playoffs, particularly they let them get real physical. When you have a ticky-tack foul, like, you can't call that there. I mean, just like, but they gave it to them, and it benefited Golden State, and they ended up winning game. Just like, the Wolves fans, and by the way, I didn't get any text messages from Wolves fans after the NBA. Maybe we talked about it yesterday, the step on the foot on Doncic, that was a foul. I mean, that should have been called a foul. The NBA admitted it. But I didn't have any Wolves fans up in arms about that. And I get it. We feel like, the calls always go against us. And it's for any team, any fan base. Our team never fouls. We're always on the wrong side of that. And then any time the other team fouls, well, yeah, they deserved it. But we got away with one there. Now, I don't know if it changes the outcome of the game. Doncic goes to the line at that point.
Yeah.
And it could have changed the outcome. But it didn't. And you saw the one in Detroit.
I will say, obviously, it would have changed the outcome. They would have had a point or two in which it's a tie game or they're leading.
Yes.
That being said, they didn't lose the ball.
No.
They still had the ball. They inbounds it and turned it over right away. So.
That is correct. But that we saw what happened in the Detroit New York game, where that was clearly a foul there. That wasn't called, and that allowed New York to win. So you're going to see calls. They could have called the Cavaliers Miami game any way they wanted to, and it wouldn't matter. I took a picture of the TV screen, and my tweet was something like, "This is wrong, everything about it." And then one of the responses was, "You mean lane violation?" Which I thought was a good line. But yeah, it was just really, it was just pathetic. But Buckets was big, and it looks like we might be headed for.
We might have to take care of business just so that they don't get a chance to rest for a couple days more than us.
It looks like they're headed for a collision course. The 6 seed and the 7 seed, which again shows you. Now I know that the home court advantage for the Lakers and the home court advantage for it hasn't really benefited them. I know that both Golden State and the Wolves have won their home games. So home court advantage, you can say, means something because they won their home games. But then I can turn that around and say it obviously doesn't mean that much because the 2 seed and the 3 seed split their home games. So it's nice to have home court advantage or home ice advantage. I would never deny that, but I think it's not the be-all, end-all. And here, what's interesting is who would have thunk that if the Wolves got out of the first round, as a 6 seed, they're going to have home court advantage if Golden State, if the Dubs go on to win. So should be.
And we don't need to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if it did happen, the storylines in the series of buckets against the Wolves.
Yep.
You've got Draymond Green has been as outspoken in criticism of Rudy Gobert as anybody. So those two are going to be clashing. And then you just have Anthony Edwards trying to slay another superstar.
Correct.
He already taken down LeBron and Doncic, and now you got to take down Steph Curry. I think the storylines would be terrific.
And, is the best 3-point shooter we've ever seen. I think everybody would I don't think you can argue it. It's Steph Curry. But now Ant seemed, he's got this most 3-pointers at this point in his career than any other player, whatever that stat is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tremendous 3-point shooter. And depending on how long his career is, he's going to want to challenge that. I don't know if he'll ever get to be like Steph, but he can shoot us a couple of really good shooters, like you say, and taking down the other ones in the other match. It should be really good.
Well, and you have like a changing of the guard of one dynasty to another.
Hello. We could very well be. That could very well be. So we'll pause. When we return, don't forget Mark Rosen a little before 2. But right now it's, we got 5-8. Sorry. Take 2 by Bill Rafferty. We got 5, 3, 4 coming on the other side of the break. What do you got to me?
Yeah, your favorite topic, more changes to an all-star game.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.